Joining me now is NBC News Chief White House Correspondent Peter Alexander and NBC News Chief Foreign Correspondent Richard Engel, who's in Kramatorsk, Ukraine, for us today. Richard, what else do we know why Karolina was detained?
Well, it seems like this is politically motivated, that this is a move by Russia to show power, to show that it's not intimidated by the United States, that it's almost an affront to the U.S. The U.S. has said that it's going to impose these new sanctions on Friday. Today, just the European Union and the U.K. imposed more sanctions on Russia. The EU imposing them on nearly 200 individuals and entities. The U.K. specifically sanctioning officials at the penal colony where Navalny died. So I think we're seeing Russia respond, that it's not taking all of this lying down. It's stepping up its attacks here in Ukraine. I'm not sure if you can hear it. It's a little bit far away, but there are air raid sirens where I am right now, and there are air raid sirens in many places where you travel to in eastern Ukraine right now. This whole area is under, I don't want to say constant attack, but very frequent attack. And then there tend to be concentrated attacks on specific towns and villages that Russia wants to take over. And the way they do that is by bombing them relentlessly, trying to drive out the people, put the Ukrainians on their back foot. Because the Ukrainians are not in a position right now to fire back. Sometimes they're being outgunned 5-1 or 10-1. And then once the Ukrainians are driven out of that destroyed area, the Russians move in. And that is the strategy that they are pursuing. So I think you can only see this woman's arrest for $51, not something that is going to change the tide of a war in any way in a political framework.
No, you're so exactly right, Richard. I mean, Secretary Blinken has been complaining about this, that there's clearly a policy of just picking up Americans for money, for hostage, for trade, as a matter of policy of getting people out of jail that they want out from their people who have been arrested. So, Peter, yeah, go ahead, Richard.
Yeah. No, exactly. It does seem like she was picked up for trade, for stock, as is a very ugly word, but sometimes used in this context, where you pick people up so that in case they can be useful to be traded later for somebody you want.
And so now the latest, Peter Alexander, the latest victim of this strategy of Vladimir Putin's is, Ksenia Karolina, along with Evan Gershkovich, who just had another court hearing this week and was told he's not going to have another hearing until March 30th. So that will be more than a year since a totally innocent Wall Street Journal journalist has been, a reporter accused of spying, unfairly, is going to be there for a year, a full year. Peter?
Yeah, Andrea, you're exactly right. And now we heard, as the president confirmed yesterday, there will be the announcement of a major sanctions package coming up this Friday. Remember, Saturday is the 2-year anniversary of Russia's brutal invasion into Ukraine. The president on Saturday is going to be speaking to his G7 colleagues in a virtual meeting. And on Friday, Andrea, you and I and our colleague Carol Lee have new reporting about what we anticipate will be a part of these new sanctions, this new major package. It's still coming together, a senior administration official tells us, but it is likely to include something as it relates to a strengthened cap on Russia's oil revenues. You'll remember more than a year ago that the G7 and the European Union had imposed a $60 per barrel cap on Russia's oil, obviously a big source of money that Russia takes in from around the world. Initially, it did have some impact, an effort to try to starve Vladimir Putin's war chest, but over time, due to circumvention and due to loopholes, it hasn't had the same impact. So I anticipate that, based on our conversations, is likely to be a part of it. Also, two U.S. officials telling NBC News that the sanctions are likely to target some entities related to Alexei Navalny's causes. Among them, one official noted to us the issue of anti-corruption. Another official noted to me the topic of Alexei Navalny's imprisonment, which is notable because the United Kingdom earlier today announced sanctions on the prison chiefs in that brutal prison camp were in Siberia, where Alexei Navalny lost his life. So those are just some of the issues that we're going to be focused on over the course of the next several days ahead of that announcement. And also, Andrea, as you've been reporting, there are conversations right now about the potential effort to try to seize Russia's assets. Right now, there are divisions within the administration about whether to do that, what impact it could have if Russia were to try to do the same in the future. Remember, there's about $300 billion in seized assets right now. The U.S. only controls about 10% of them, but that is another one of the issues that is sort of on the plate as the U.S. considers this effort.
And Richard, let's just talk briefly about the situation for the Ukrainian troops as we approach this anniversary. They've lost some ground there in Avdiivka, and now are they retreating? Or are they just reinforcing defenses? They're clearly outmaneuvered, or at least out-weaponed by the Russians.
What happened at Avdiivka was a very bad sign, because they tried to pull out, they tried to retreat, and as they were retreating, the Russians were still advancing, and it turned into a very chaotic retreat. And the Ukrainians broke rank, were forced to leave quickly in a disorganized way. There were prisoners taken by Ukrainian prisoners taken by Russia. Others have gone missing. So it was a terrible strategic retreat, tactically disastrous for Ukraine. And the concern is that once you start losing territory, Avdiivka itself is not a particularly big place. It's about 30,000 people. So most Americans couldn't find it on a map. Many Ukrainians didn't know it before the war. But once you start losing territory, and if you lose it badly, like the Ukrainians just badly lost Avdiivka, the concern is you could quickly lose other territory. Do you remember, as the Ukrainians, to flip the scenario, as the Ukrainians were advancing, when they would take territory from the Russians didn't just lose one town or two towns. They started losing small amounts, and then it snowballed, and they ended up losing large chunks of territory. And that is the real concern here, that this could be a precursor for much larger, much deeper losses to come unless they get fresh supplies of weapons and ammunition.